What if the secret to success wasn't just talent or hard work, but unshakable confidence? Welcome to Grasp Confidence, the podcast where visionary thought leaders, speakers, and entrepreneurs unlock the mindset and strategies for lasting success. I'm your host, Tara LaFawn Gooch, CEO, two-time best-selling author, and international TEDx speaker, and I can't wait to help you step into the most powerful version of yourself. Let's dive in. What if the next game-changing hire for your business isn't down the street, but across the globe? Today's guest, Valerie Bowden, is an award-winning outsourcing pioneer and founder of CRDLE, CRDLE, the company connecting top-tier African remote talent with high-demand entrepreneurs. Named one of NBC's top 30 global rising women, she's on a mission to prove that brilliance knows no borders. And she helps seven-figure CEOs scale with quality, affordability, and impact. Get ready. This conversation will transform the way you think about talent, leadership, and global opportunity. Valerie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me here, Tara. That was such a kind introduction.
Absolutely. Well, I'm so curious. We were talking a little bit offline before we got started. How did you get into this? Why Africa? Tell us a little bit about this journey and the story of your own entrepreneurship venture.
That's a great question because I am originally from Indiana. So grew up with like a very typical Midwest mindset. But after grad school, I decided, I really want to see Africa. It was like on my bucket list. I didn't know anything about the continent, but I decided to take a one-way ticket to South Africa. So I arrived in Cape Town pretty freaked out. Honestly, I've never backpacked before. If you look at me, I have like no survival skills. But I something about the continent drew me to it. And so I started backpacking with a tent and I spent 7 months and 9 days backpacking through 13 African countries. I had an amazing time. And so much so that after my trip, I thought I can't go back home yet. And so I got a work visa to Ethiopia. I stayed there for 6 months and then I renewed it and I ended up spending 8 years in Ethiopia. Came home just a few years ago with like a husband and a baby and then decided to launch Cradle.
Wow, what an adventure. What were your parents in Indiana thinking, right? Where
Oh, my mom is still mad. I mean, they were totally freaked out. But I have to say, like, African countries actually the majority ranked safer than the US, like statistically speaking. So I had a great time. I have no scary stories. All my stories are like, I got lost and somebody helped me. And it's funny because like the people who really doubted me back then and thought like I would end up dead or kidnapped, those are the ones who are like, wow, I wish I would have traveled and done something adventurous like that when I was in my 20s. So it's funny to see how it's kind of turned around now that it's worked out.
I love that. That's incredible. What an interesting journey, right? I love every part of this. And isn't this what entrepreneurship is, right? We have a vision, we don't know the next steps, but we just pursue the calling. And
Yes.
I love how you did that. So, after college, you went to Africa, you spent several years there, and then you decided to launch this company that helps connect entrepreneurs like me, like a lot of our listeners, right, with outsourced talent. Can you explain to me a little bit about that evolution?
Yes, exactly. And I love what you said about how entrepreneurship is like you don't know the whole vision. And that was very much true when I was backpacking. I didn't know how to get around. So it was really like I got to this city. When I got there, I figured out how to get to the next city. And it's really helped me in my own entrepreneurial journey to remind myself like that's what it is to be a business leader. But the story is that I come from the world of social work, and that's what I did my master's in. That's what I thought I would do was like international development or charities. And unfortunately, not all of them, but at least the charities I was seeing on the ground, I didn't think they were doing the good that they said that they were doing. Some were even doing harm to the local community. And I just thought like, I don't want to be part of this world anymore. It just felt too dirty and corrupt. And so what I realized is that people actually just need jobs, and that's what gets communities out of poverty. And at the same time, I just seen the whole continent or parts of it. I was like, wow, the professionals are so smart. They're so tech savvy. They speak great English. Like, why are they not working with these global companies? And so that's kind of what led me into what if we have an outsourcing company that only hires from Africa, and then we can connect these professionals in Africa who are amazing to small and medium businesses who need affordable virtual assistants or who need cold callers and sales. So just like you can hire from like the Philippines or Latin America, why not Africa too?
I love that. So tell us a little bit about the problems this solves for businesses who are looking for talent, right? Who may be in that fixed mindset of they need to hire somebody with X background or Y
Mhm.
background or comes from whatever type of location. I would love to know, what problems this is solving for businesses and, you know, as well open people's minds to the fact that this is a global economy,
Mhm.
right? I think a lot of businesses are still stuck in a very much brick and mortar mentality. Come to the office, stay at
Mhm.
the office, work 8 to 5, whatever it is. But things have changed, and COVID
Mhm.
actually was a big catalyst for a lot of that change, right?
Yes, I always say that's one of the good things that did come out of the pandemic is that now we do have a it's like a global talent economy, and businesses are gonna look kind of a mix of your internal American-based team or wherever you're located. It's gonna look like a mix of offshore talent, and it's also gonna have AI. And in the businesses, it's a mixture of those 3. And just to give you, I guess, like, the biggest proof I think about why you need offshore team members is that even when I started Cradle, providing offshore team members, I was still very much a solopreneur when I first started. And when I hired my first team member after a year, my first full time team member, we tripled our business in 3 months. And it was literally like, I think I went from like $6,000 a month to $18,000 a month between January to March. And it was because, and this was years ago now, but it was because I finally could delegate and get the things off my plate that I wasn't good at, that didn't energize me, and somebody else who was much better at that could do it. And that's how we grew our business. So for someone who's like, I don't know if I need someone, or I only want someone who's American based. The truth is, like, you can use offshore team members in the same way as internal team members, and they do a great job if you know how to like plug and play them into roles where they'll be a success.
Wow, that is so timely
Mhm.
because so many entrepreneurs think they can do it all
Mhm.
themselves, right? And I've been
Absolutely.
guilty. I've been guilty, Valerie, of I'm the only one that can do this. I'm the only one. I'm the only one. And then what happens is you box yourself in, and then you end up trading time for money, which is not why you started a business, right? And it
Mhm.
actually keeps you very small as far as your revenue generating potential goes, right? And ultimately, do you want to do everything? And what I've found is that really we have it's called stay in your lane for a reason. when
Hmm.
you, when you stay in your lane, your zone of genius, your area of immense subject matter expertise, you can actually serve everyone better, not only your clients but also your business, yourself, right? And that's when you gain the fulfillment actually from your business, is when you can stay in your lane and not dilute yourself, right?
Yeah. Yes. I agree with that 100%. For me, I love jumping on podcasts. I love speaking. I love sharing about what we're doing. I love the vision of where this company is going. But in order to keep growing, I needed someone who could do systems and processes and admin and payroll. And that's what entrepreneurs can do when they learn to delegate, is that work is going to get actually done better than you could do because that person has one single focus. Whereas you have so many different focuses, hiring people to help you is truly how you're going to grow and do, like you said, stay in your zone of genius.
Stay in your zone of genius,
Mhm.
right? It's so powerful, and this is a lesson that I have learned as well.
Mhm.
Again, I, I I'm not joking when I say I thought I could do all of it myself, right? And then I realized, one, I was burning myself out, which is
Mhm.
not why I started a business. I didn't start a business so I could hate it.
Mhm.
Last time I checked, right? And
Mhm.
you only hate it when you are not delegating, when you're not hiring people, when you are the jack of all trades and the master of none,
Mhm.
because it's not a possible thing. You can't be good at all of these things, right?
Yeah.
What I've found is accounting is my kryptonite,
Mhm.
right? So that is accounting is my kryptonite. So I'm not going to do it. I have somebody that does our accounting. Why would I try to do something, number one, that drains my energy,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And I think that that is, there's a lot of wisdom right there,
exactly.
right? Paying attention, like pay attention to what gives you energy and what drains your energy. And the things that drain your energy in business that are a necessity, that's a cue for you to outsource something, right?
Mhm. Yeah, 100%. And it's also like, what is the thing that only you can do? And so, for example, a lot of our companies, they'll hire cold callers, and it's amazing because cold calling shouldn't be done as an American, right? You're spending all this time on the phone, you're leaving voicemails, you just try and get that warm lead. Honestly, anybody can cold call for you, but how many people can show up on a call, know the nuances of your industry, and close a deal and get them to become clients? Right? That's probably something mostly you can do, or an internal sales team member. So, like, that's how you can divide it. Like, can somebody else do this? Yes. And so, what can you only do? Like, only you can close those high level deals with the big whales, or only you can show up at that keynote event and give your keynote. But somebody else could pitch you to be on that keynote. So it's just figuring out what can you do and what can somebody else do.
I love that. It's so powerful, especially, you brought up speakers,
Mhm.
right? I'm a speaker. I realized that I'm really good at developing a message that resonates, that
Mhm.
transcends, that's transformative, that impacts people and businesses. Really good at the craft of being on stage and developing that talk. That's where my energy needs to be put.
Mhm.
What I don't enjoy is exactly what you're talking about, is blasting messages out, sending a lot of volume, doing all of these things, the follow-ups, the all of these little nuance things.
Mhm.
Somebody else can be hired to do exactly that so I can focus my energy on delivering an impeccable message that transforms and transcends. I
100.
have right? I have
Mhm.
found this to be true, that when we dilute ourselves, we're actually diluting our purpose.
Mhm. Yes, exactly. Because if you save that time, you could be on more stages, and your impact would be magnified because only you can give that speech. But somebody else, like a virtual assistant in Zimbabwe, can find out all the keynotes that are happening this year. They can do the lead generation research, find the decision makers, get their contact info, craft them a really great non-spammy message. And once someone's interested, then they CC you and you take it over from there. Even this podcast, it was actually my VA who responded on my behalf to you. And it saved me time so that I could do more podcasting and get the word out about what we're doing. And so, yeah, you have to look at, like, what can you do? How can you magnify your own social impact? And how can you have a team that can support you?
I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about social impact, because that's really important. I don't believe that anybody should start a business without a level and layer of
Mhm.
purpose to it, unless it impacts people, the community, the globe, the collective in a positive way.
Mhm.
So I would like to talk a little bit about social impact, what that means to you, and why that's important to you.
That's a great question. I think I've heard a lot of business owners say, once my business becomes big and I'm making all this money, I can't wait to donate and support charities. But the truth is, you can start making a good social impact now just by consciously hiring. And so I've heard it said somewhere, like, talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not. And so there's so many talented professionals around the world who are in an emerging economy and really need a job, and who will do a great job and have the English and have the skill set. they just need the opportunity to work for you. So why not hire a virtual assistant who's based in Kenya or Uganda? They'll do a great job for you. It's also affordable because their countries have a lower cost of living, and you're giving someone a great job, and the chance to work for you, and so it's like a win-win on both sides. And I know internally with our company, like 70% of who we hire is women, and it's so amazing to see these moms be able to like spend time more with their kids, send their kids to better school because they're making a great job working for you on their nights.
I love that. Wonderful. It's so impactful, right? And I think the key that I picked up on based on what you said is we don't have to wait to get started.
Mm-hmm.
I truly believe that you don't need permission to give. You don't need permission to create impact and purpose. And I don't look at these things as an expense. I think it's a mindset as well.
Mm-hmm.
You don't look at anything you're investing in another human being as an expense ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an expense, it's an investment. And I visualize every dollar that goes to a human being, either if they're on my team or, something like that, or even a contractor. I visualize every dollar that I send them as exactly that image you described of them being able to afford better schools for their children, clothing for their children, food on the table. And it changes your mindset from an expense and almost dehumanizing somebody to then realizing that they are an investment you're making in them and they want to do well, they want to perform, they have pride in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure you've
100%.
seen that, right?
Yeah, it's never a pity hire. Like they're more than qualified for the role that they're doing. Look, as an example, one of our clients just got a keynote speaking gig at Stanford University, and it was his virtual assistant in Ethiopia who reached out, found the contact info, and booked it for him. And so it really is like this beautiful relationship. It's a win-win. I love when our clients really get to know our team members well, so they know when like Abby's birthday is, or they'll send me a picture of like they just went to an Ethiopian restaurant because they wanted to know what their VA eats. It's really fun to see just like even the cultural exchange that also happens, and it just makes your life richer. And it's again, like you said, you can get started now. You don't have to wait. Like you could start infusing better social impact into your business now in a way that also has an ROI. And so, why not do that?
Why not do that? I
Yeah.
love it. Well, I'm excited. I'm on fire. I'm ready to hire more. I think that's so important. And, getting clear too, I think is another important thing. It only honors that other
Mhm.
person.
Mhm.
I feel like so many entrepreneurs that I work with, they don't know, they may know they need to outsource. They
Mhm.
know they may need to delegate, but they end up diluting that other person by
Yeah.
giving them all the tasks, right?
Yeah.
Every task. I like to, when I interview somebody initially, what are you really good at?
Mhm.
What are your strengths?
Yep.
Right? What gets you out of bed every day? What are you excited to do? And I try to find the person that complements that, right? That is
Mhm.
excited to do the thing that I just don't want to do. Um,
100%.
right? And so
Yeah.
I typically start somebody off with one single task. See how they're doing,
Mhm.
see how they optimize their time, prioritize their time, and then I add gradually on more. But pretty quickly, what some of these strengths and weaknesses are. And it's
Mhm.
having that open dialogue and communication at first and starting small. Don't start them with everything. Start small so that they can
Mhm.
actually achieve a goal. And so you're not disappointed with the outcome. What do you think about that?
I think it's so smart. It sounds like you figured out what a smart onboarding system looks like. And you're right. Don't just dump like your laundry list, like, here's everything you have to do. Like,
Yeah.
start them off small, give them training, give them feedback, build that relationship. Like you mentioned, like, what else can they do? Like, a lot of our VAs have extra skills, like, they can edit YouTube videos, or they're really young and they know what the next TikTok trend is. Like, they'll help you in different ways. And if you spend that time to get to know them, start off slow, then you're right. Like, you can always grow, start part time, then increase hours later on. I think that's the smartest way to do it.
Yes, yes. I always start people off part-time just to see how we can work together,
Mhm,
just to, get a feel for each other's styles, right?
mhm,
And then once I see that they are a real producer,
mhm.
if I see that real production happening, now I increase their hours,
Mhm. It gives them
right?
something to work for too. Like, okay, I'm gonna start off with 20 hours and I really want to be full time. So I'm gonna do such a great job for Tara and really knock it out of the park so that she trusts me to give me more work. It just makes sense.
I love it.
Mhm.
Everybody adopt this mindset, please, that's listening to this, right? I love that. So, such a powerful episode. Lots of good takeaways. I think the big takeaway is you're not meant, none of us are meant
Mhm.
to do everything, number one,
Mhm.
and none of us are meant to do it alone.
Mhm.
If you're a leader, you can only really be a leader if you have people that are following you, if you have a team.
Mhm.
So I think a big sense of purpose is actually lost on a lot of entrepreneurs because we do all of these things ourselves
Mhm.
and we're not actually living up to our full purpose as a entrepreneur, as a leader, if I don't have people to support, people to count on me and then I count on them in return. It's a
Mhm.
lot of wisdom there. But I love your social impact. I love your mission. I love your business. I love your story going
Thank
from
you.
Indiana to living in Africa. I
Yeah.
think that's so cool. Where can people learn more about you, your company, and what are the best ways to connect?
Definitely. So, and thank you for all of that. So I live on LinkedIn.
Me too. I know.
About 11% of our business actually comes from LinkedIn. So I always say, like, if you're not getting clients from LinkedIn, like hire a virtual assistant to help you with like LinkedIn and start getting clients that way. But you can find me, Valerie Bowden, on LinkedIn. You can go to our website, cradle.com, CRDLE.com. And if you're not sure, like if you're like, I know I need to delegate, but I don't know where to start off with doing like a time audit. Like before you even meet us, do a week or two, audit your time, and then look at where you're spending your time, see what you could delegate, and then see what your ideal week looks like. And you'll see a massive contrast. And then reach out to us. And that time audit becomes your job description for your VA of all the things you want to delegate.
It's really that simple. It really is. And it can double or triple your business.
Triple. Yeah, or more. I mean,
Or
we've
more.
we've grown we now have 120 team members in just 3 years, and all of my team is Ethiopian, by the way. Like, everybody's offshore. So, there really is no limit to how fast you can actually probably grow faster because you can hire more. Yeah, so I hope that's, like, the takeaway of everybody here is, like, don't be afraid, be confident, reach out and just trust that, like, this is how you're gonna grow your vision and your social impact is by getting the support that you deserve.
I love that. Wow. Valerie, thank you so much for being an amazing guest today. And thank you for everyone who tuned into this episode of Grasp Confidence Podcast. Guys, drop us some love on Apple. We grew to about 1,000 reviews on Spotify, but we could use a little love on Apple. Each review helps more people see the value of tuning in. And when we can get more people to see the value of tuning in, we can help change more lives, more businesses, and grow as a collective by stepping into our callings with confidence and doing it in a big global way. Valerie, thank you so much for being a guest. We will catch you on the next episode. Take care.